All right, I think we can kick it off here. Welcome, everyone. This is the DevConflict teaser. I hope wherever you're tuning in from, you've had a good week. I know it's kind of an odd time where I am. It's kind of early on a Friday morning. So we are joined by Skylar Weaver of the Ethereum Foundation, Rose from the Ethereum Foundation, Sebastian Burgel from Gnosis, and Gabriel Fior from Gnosis AI. I'm John. I'm a contributor at the Gnosis DAO. And basically, we wanted to just get together today to shill DevCon. We wanted to shill DevConflict, tell you what it's all about, and just jam for a little bit on why DevCon and DevConflict are so exciting for the event coming up in about 2 weeks. So yeah, if you don't know already, I'm sure you do, but DevCon is on November 12th through the 15th in November this month in Bangkok. And then DevConflict is a side event. It's happening from the 9th to the 10th, also in Bangkok. And yeah, to kick things off, just want to say hi to Skylar and Rose. Thanks for making the time. And why don't you kick it off by telling us about DevCon this year? Like, what is DevCon, and why does it happen every year?
Yeah, sure. Great to be here. Thanks for the invite. So DevCon. What is DevCon? DevCon is I would say, global reunion for all Ethereum developers, researchers, community members. That's happening in Bangkok this year. It happens actually not every year. It happens now every other year. So the last one happened 2 years ago in Bogota. But it is the principal event that the Ethereum Foundation puts on, basically be a shelling point for the global Ethereum community. And this year it's happening in Bangkok. We've already distributed over like 11,500 tickets, going to quickly cross 12,000 and probably get a little higher than that. And so it'll be by far the biggest one we've ever had, and we're hoping also the best one. That's a little bit about DevCon.
And when did it first start? What was the first year?
Sure. Yeah. So actually, this is 10 years since the first DevCon. So the first one happened in 2014 in Berlin. It was just less than 100 people. The initial Ethereum developers, researchers who were launching the protocol. And actually, the first one took place before the Ethereum protocol even launched. So and since then, basically has grown. Every year, growing a little bit bigger in both audience, but also focus, to this day where it's not solely focused on, I would say, developers. It's also more focused on maybe even like frontier of computing in general, frontier of society. Like, how does Ethereum fit into the world today? And how can we use it in the real world, in the current context of what's going on in broader society? So that's how it started.
Cool. Yeah, I think that Ethereum is obviously such a vibrant ecosystem, and coming together like this with basically everyone in the ecosystem is obviously so important, because how often do you get to experience in person such a vibrant ecosystem? And you're going to run into people who you've never met before, or you're going to come across people who have different domain expertise than you. So yeah, I think it's a really critical event. And okay, let's talk about like the side events. Obviously we have the conference, but aside from that, there's like a whole vibrant network of side events that are happening. So why does DevCon fold in the side events?
Yeah, totally. So I would say, DevCon is 4 days, right? So it's Tuesday to Friday. But outside of DevCon, there are a lot of side events. So we did encourage a lot of side events to happen before and after DevCon. During the days of DevCon, actually, we're encouraging most people to stay at the venue, right? The whole point of DevCon is get everyone together in the same venue and cross-collaborate, cross-pollinate ideas. And so we have a massive venue to fit everyone. So that's kind of the idea there with DevCon itself. But there are tons of side events happening before and after. And we think it's really cool because like you get to focus in on specific topics, specific domains. It gives people an extra thing to do outside of the venue. And there's also side events happening in the evening. Of course, there will be parties and evening events happening around DevCon. But I think this one was probably like one of the first ones to announce, right? Like DevConflict, you guys have been working on this for it seems like a while, and it's got a fun name, so that's cool.
Yeah. We've been working on it for almost a year now, and I mean, selfishly, I go to conferences for the side events. So I'm stoked for DevConflict. I think it's one of the most exciting side events out there. And okay, this is, I think, a good opportunity to ask Sebastian to help us shill DevConflict. There's a lot of different moving pieces to it that make it really exciting. So yeah, Sebastian, can you just give us first like a high level overview of what DevConflict is and how it fits in as a side event to DevCon?
Yeah, sure. Happy to. First of all, I would say, yeah, thanks, Skylar, Rose, and obviously the entire team for making DevCon happen. Like DevCon to me personally was like my magic moment that made me decide to quit my prior life and like all into Ethereum in a sense of, committing to this space. That was DevCon 1 in London. It was like literally the most magical event I ever attended in my life. And I hope that there's many other people who have that now with DevCon in Bangkok, of just, I think Skylar called it like frontier of society. Like to me, it's that, right? It's this society of people who are kind of like-minded and have like a value orientation around myself that maybe sometimes people are struggling to find in the physical space. And then, get together with fellow nerds and, people who think about a future in a specific way. That's just great. That's a really nice place. But at the same time, I would say that is like at odds with what we know, unfortunately, from the digital world, right? So from the digital society that we see today, I would say a lot of things aren't so magical and so nice and so great, right? So the obvious one to pick on is Twitter, right? I still have trouble calling it X. But how we oftentimes see how discussions are not helpful. People are just bashing each other. It's like a beauty contest of the loudest. And it's just not very helpful to, foster kind of communication and an exchange between, between people who actually want to make something happen, not just be the loudest and the winner of some, pseudo-controversial conflict. So, and with DevConflict, we try to address that. We try to provide a forum that is, kind of an anti-pole to what we see on Twitter and the discussions there. And it also doesn't try to be a pay-for-play project where the best funded and largest projects are on stage. So it's really about kind of getting some relevant debates out there and have people exchange ideas and have them do that in a format that is hopefully conducive to a positive exchange of ideas and involvement of the attendees. So to have in-depth discussions and a bunch of other things that I think we'll dive into in a minute.
Yeah. One of the coolest parts is that the audience will have the ability to vote prior to a debate starting. And then at the conclusion of the debate, the audience will then vote again. And the delta between where the votes were before the debate started and after will help to decide or hopefully resolve the debate. So I think that's pretty unique. And we'll have like AV solutions up where people can just scan a QR code and quickly vote. But also, we have already live on Presagio some prediction markets around each debate. So people can now express their opinion already about these debates through our prediction market platform. And I think this is probably a good opportunity to have Gabriel talk about that, who's from the Gnosis AI team. So, hey, Gabriel, what's up?
Yeah. Hey, John. Hey, everyone. Nice to. Thanks for the opportunity to join as well. Yeah. So we have a bunch of prediction markets as well that we launched specifically for this event. So we have a couple of prediction markets per debate, letting, as you said, John, letting people express their views on questions related to each debate. And hopefully those questions or those topics from each prediction market, they can be taken into consideration as possible talking points for each debate, because that can also be seen of what the participants of the attendees see as relevant for the discussion. And check it out. Those are live on Presagio, and it's using Omen, which is the prediction markets platform for Gnosis. That's it, John.
And we'll have breaks, we'll have a lunch, and then afterwards there'll be a happy hour. So, we'll get outside of that kind of formal, like Oxford style debate format, and everyone will be able to just hang out with each other. And we're hoping that, like, hey, if you're a staker, you come and attend, and then the staking community can all talk to each other about the debate, about the how spicy it was on stage afterwards, enjoying a drink together. So we're hoping that it's a fun time, aside from having some hopefully contentious conversations. I think it'd be great if we could just quickly run through what the debates are. There's 7 of them. Sebastian, do you want to run through them really quick?
Yeah, sure. I mean, as John already mentioned, we have this kind of proven Oxford debate style discussions here. And for the ones who are not familiar with it, it's not just about a battle between, he said, she said, but the idea is really to start with kind of have a statement that we debate, have then kind of prepared statements from both sides. We're discussing pro and con, and I'll go through the list briefly in a minute. And then both parties kind of present their view, and then there is a discussion between the two. There is Q&A involving the audience, so everyone in the room gets a chance to, if they misunderstood something, or if they thought that any of the presenters misrepresented something, have a chance to chime in. And finally, there's a closing statement from both parties, and this discussion is, of course, moderated. So I'm looking forward to having that in a bit more an orderly debate to things that we might have seen elsewhere. And so the first one I think is a super interesting one for me specifically. Is a debate between. The question is, should Gnosis become an L2, right? So most of you know Gnosis chain is a side chain to Ethereum mainnet. And there is this obvious question, well, L2s are hot. Should it become an L2 as well? And that is between no less than Vitalik from EF, obviously, and Martin Koppelmann, founder of Gnosis. So I'm pretty interested in that, because we have Bartek from L2 Beat, which is moderating it, also somebody who is like very educated and deep into the space. And I'm excited for that, because it has like huge implications for everything that's happening at Gnosis, right? And the fact that we're having this discussion like out in the open, and just FYI for the listeners, it's not that this is, a staged thing and actually, everybody at Gnosis knows what the outcome is and is prepared for it. It's not, right? So that's why I'm very excited about that one. We have something on the next topic, local apps versus cloud services. On the one hand side, we have obviously a lot of people talking about local apps and decentralization, but that's not quite the reality we see everywhere today, right? So that's a discussion between Andreas from Fileverse and Mikhail from Protocol Labs, moderated by Lefteris, which I guess many people here know, the guy from Rodkey, the accounting software. Then the third topic is protocol ossification versus agility. That's something that I'm moderating, and it's a debate between Odysseus from Philex and Togrul from Scroll. And so here the question is, do we want something that is ultimately resilient by having basically no changes at all anymore, maximal ossification, or do we need to like move forward, and like what does that mean? So I'm curious about that one, what the audience will think about this. And then we have a debate which actually has been raging, I think, in the Bitcoin spaces like some years ago, which is larger block space versus ability to run the chain on lower spec devices. This is not just a debate for Bitcoiners, but also in Ethereum land, pretty important. So that's between Nick Dodson from Fuel Labs and Tony from EF. moderated by Paul Lansky from DAppNode. So again, having a bunch of speakers who are very deeply into each side in the whole ecosystem. The next topic is, should we onboard the next billion, as you hear in many places, or should we rather focus on the next million users before we have everything ready for prime showtime? And there we have also very interesting panelists. On the one hand side, Remco Blumen from WorldCoin, and on the other side we have Vadim from Zerion, the wallet and DeFi information space. And that one is moderated by Kartik from ETH Global, the hackathon, which I think is fair to also give a shout out to, that after DevCon there's a hackathon happening in Bangkok. And the second last topic is vanilla staking versus liquid staking, right? So vanilla staking means you have your normal staking node, and liquid staking means something like Lido, for example. So actually, speaking of Lido, that's one side. So Dimitri from Lido is going to be on stage debating, I guess, that side. And the other one is Nixo from ETH Staker, which is representing kind of the home stakers, the individual stakers. And that one is moderated by Brian from Chorus One, a pretty big and known staking service provider. And finally, also something that I think is extremely important for the space is MEV mitigation. So should that be tackled on protocol level versus application layer? And here we actually have representatives from both sides. So on the protocol level, we have Tomasz from Nethermind, I think one of the most popular Ethereum execution layer clients, Nethermind. And on the other side, we have Felix from CowSwap, a Gnosis spinoff that I guess many are familiar for using it as a DEX aggregator that is avoiding MEV on the application layer. And that one is moderated from Greg at ChainSafe. So I think it's 7 debates which are extremely relevant for the wider Ethereum ecosystem. And I am extremely happy to see that John and the team managed to gain and manage to get the attention of a bunch of really, really excellent speakers here. So with that, back to you, John.
Yeah, huge shout out to the Gnosis team for pulling this off. A ton of hard work went into it. And depending on your field of interest or your expertise, there are many chances to nerd out with us. So please come join us. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. We are excited to showcase our prediction markets with you, and we're excited to have you vote. And I think that these debates come at a critical time right now, where the broader ecosystem is debating the Ethereum roadmap, as always, but right now seems to be a hot topic. Skylar and Rose, just to kind of wrap up here, any high level thoughts about how these side events or even pop-up cities can support the Ethereum Foundation in its consensus building and decision making process, on the Ethereum roadmap or just the Ethereum ecosystem in general?
Yeah, I don't think it really needs to support the Ethereum Foundations per se, right? These are I think this is just a testament to the strength of the Ethereum community. Right? Most of the events that happen around the world, most of the Ethereum events that happen around the world, including these side events, including the pop-up cities, including the other ETH city, ETH country names, right, are all community organized. I think that's a huge testament to the strength of the Ethereum ecosystem. And so I don't think there's anything really in particular that that we would say, or I would say needs to be done. But I think just I'd love to see that. I think it's really cool. I think it's one of the big focuses of the Ethereum or the EF's ecosystem support program, which is to support these community events, these educational events, especially regional ones, nonprofit ones, not very maybe ones that need more funding in certain places around the world. But I think this event sounds cool. I think these topics are actually really relevant for Ethereum. I was reading through these earlier today, and I think they sound very interesting. One thing I've seen before is in debates, having the person, like having each person basically take a side and then flip the side at the end. Like, I think that makes it kind of interesting. I don't know if you've thought about this before, but like you can have each person basically like everyone has a side, right? But I think like oftentimes with each one of these questions, there's trade-offs, right? Like there's no perfect solution. I'm a big believer in that, right? Like there's no perfect solution. There's no like one true answer. It's all trade-offs at the end of the day. And like having each person kind of like flip sides at the end and say like, okay, well, strongman the other argument, I think is like kind of a fun thing to do. Maybe would be interesting here as well for those who are moderating it. But I think these like topics in general look really, really interesting. I have like personal thoughts on all of them, but I think there's no clear-cut answer for any one of them.
I think that's an awesome suggestion. So we're already planning for next year. I think that's definitely something we should consider folding into this. Any like debate topics that you'd love to see next year?
Oh, next year. Wow. I feel like next year will be like, I mean, it's a lot of time between now and then. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of debate questions that aren't even on our minds right now. Yeah, I don't know. Next year's
not to put you in the hot seat. No worries. That's like a kind of cosmological question. I also wanted to take a second to highlight the venue because it's so unique and cool. So here's the inside of this venue. I love these red curtains. I believe it's a government building, and check out the outside where we'll have our happy hour. So beautiful location, really unique, and we're so stoked to see you there. And I myself am leaving for Bangkok in a few days, and I know the rest of the team on Gnosis is doing the same. And I think Skylar and Rose are already in Bangkok.
Yeah, right now we're in Chiang Mai actually at the pop-up cities nearby here.
Oh, nice, awesome.
Yeah, the venue looks awesome. How far is it from the main DevCon venue? Do you know?
I think it's very close. Sebastian, do you know exactly how far it is?
I do not, unfortunately, no. But I think it was selected to be kind of close. Yeah.
Perfect. And you guys are all coming to DevCon?
Of course.
Yep.
Of course.
Awesome. Cool.
That goes
Great.
without saying. Yeah, Skylar Rose, I hope that, it's not too stressful for you in the last days leading up to it. I can imagine there's lots of work for you. But again, thank you for making it happen, and best of luck for the last things that certainly are still coming up.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, busy days, but exciting, like truly exciting. Like this DevCon will be unlike any other DevCon before it. So super excited for this. Not only because this is the first DevConflict, so that'll be cool.
And I think there'll be over 5,000 people in attendance at DevCon, right?
5,000. There'll be over 11,000. So
wow! Oh my God! Holy!
Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah. So just double that number.
Wow! Amazing. All right, love it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for making the time. We will see you in Bangkok. We'll see you real soon, and we'll see you at DevConflict on November 9th through the 10th. I shared the link to DevConflict in the YouTube chat. We shared it on Discord. Please check the Gnosis Twitter account for all the relevant information as well, where you can find out the how to buy tickets. You can also go to devconflict.com. And again, it's on November 9th through the 10th in Bangkok, Thailand. We'll see you real soon. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.